Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Danielle and I'm from Cageless Readings. So today's pick a card reading is featuring Charlie the cat. Just kidding, I raped her. Okay, we are going to be looking at what is your skin trying to tell you. I was just thinking the other day how so many of us have some sort of skin outbreaks or challenges or, rashes or hives or something that happens, and why not do a pick a card reading on it? So that being said, the breakdown for this reading is we're going to be first doing an energy check where we're going to see if I can get any intuitive answers on the symptoms or the emotions that you're experiencing in the moment. That way you can see if that pile is right for you. Then we're going to move into lessons and what it could be trying to tell you, what it wants you to know, and then guidance and suggestions on how to bring everything back into balance, because if something is out of balance, that is why there's this disharmony being created. So that being said, that's what we're going to be doing. So pile 1 is going to be this piece. I should call it, it was like just labeled as a shamanic stone, and I believe it's just because there was so many different crystals in it. If you know the proper name of this crystal, feel free to leave it in the comment section. But I have no idea. I even tried looking it up. And it's just going to be called the Shamanic Stone. Okay. Pile 2 is this piece of Dendrite Jasper. So it looks like there's like little ferns in it. Pile 3 is this piece of Trolleite. Okay, so that being said, just take a few deep breaths, get grounded, rooted in your body. You want to really make sure that you're centered and connected to your intuition. And then after you do that, just look at each one of these piles and ask yourself the question, is there a message for me in one of these piles? And then there you have your answer. You can also choose by looking at the timestamps attached to each pile in the description box below. Maybe there's a number there that means something to you or that stands out. There's really no right or wrong way to choose a pile, but if you get in there and the energy check isn't resonating with you, then you might just want to choose a different pile. Alright, that being said, I'll see you in your card readings. Hello pile 1, so you chose what we're calling the Shaman Stone for now. I'm going to put it over here, kind of see it in the little corner. And if you didn't watch the intro, that's okay. We're going to do an energy check just to see if this is indeed your pile. And I'm going to see if I can get maybe what your skin is doing that you're watching this reading for, and any like emotions that you're currently going through. So that being said, I am going to shuffle these cards, just realizing some of them are backwards, but whatever. Okay, all lives good, love and light. What is going on with pile 1? What is their skin trying to do? Okay, cool. I'm gonna put these here. I'm gonna put this here. And okay, I'm gonna take a second just to tune in, as this is gonna be very intuitive. Give me a second. Okay, so pile 1. What I'm kind of getting here is I'm really drawn to this card here where it's sorry, I'm kind of laughing because I'm like, oof, I don't know why I'm laughing actually. It seems unfortunate, I guess. Awkward laugh, maybe nervous laugh, maybe that's what it is. I feel like what I'm getting though for the main location, and I do want to say this is skin, like, and I keep getting like that it gets very angry. So I am a little torn if this is like eczema that you get in reoccurring in an area and if you feel like it could spread. I do think like if you do have eczema and that's what you're resonating with, I think it's going to be I want to say feet, oddly enough. I keep thinking of the feet, like the lower body, but then this is really focusing around being around the solar plexus. So it could be that it's literally I don't know. I think that's so. The other one that's coming through is shingles, because I really feel like shingle vibes around the rib cage, around the solar plexus, and kind of near the heart. But the eczema, I feel like it spreads and it gets really angry. I keep getting that. If you're resonating with the eczema, I keep being told, like the common areas is like in the elbow crease. And I feel like it like really spreads down the arm, and I think it could happen on your chest, kind of near your throat if it's eczema. Yeah, I do think it could be near your throat. Because there is so much going on with the throat chakra being here. And for some of you, it could even be on, I don't know if I'd say your face, but like kind of by your third eye. So I don't know if it's like I don't know if you would call it eczema or just like really bad dry scalp where like your head almost itches and bleeds. But yeah, it's so interesting because they're very adamant that if it's shingles, it is like on the rib cage, kind of more in that classic area is where I'm getting. Near the solar plexus and near your heart. And then yes, eczema, just to repeat myself, I do feel like it is saying it could be starting in places like the elbow and arm, but I for sure think there's something happening around the throat, and I think there's something happening for some people's heads. So maybe even, I don't know if you can get shingles on your head, but maybe you can. I don't actually know, but there is this energy though, is that some of you can't hide this, and that like bothers someone here. I don't know if this is group energy or just a specific message coming through, but I feel like that is part of this. Like whatever this skin irritation that's happening, I feel like it gets really angry and it spreads and it gets quite big. And I feel like, yeah, this pile just, you can't hide it. Whether it's like you can't hide it because physically it causes you so much pain that people ask what's going on, or if it makes you so exhausted that you have to like cancel things and you have to like tell people why, or it's literally like on your face or on your throat and you can't hide it, or on like the front of your chest and your shirts don't cover it. Like it's just saying like whatever this is, it's like your body is making you have to voice it or people see it. You can't hide it. And I think that's like something that emotionally irritates this pile a little bit. Yeah. Shingles. You know what? For someone here too, this also could be like herpes outbreaks, actually, now that I think about this. Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like there's some shame around this for somebody here. Like some of you are like ashamed, or it brings out guilt. I don't know. I think more shame though about this not being something you can hide. So for some of you, I do think this is like a herpes outbreak, and maybe it's like you get cold sores in like an unusual place. Like maybe like literally is on the front of like on your forehead, which is maybe like maybe you're like, I don't even understand how this is possible. Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely getting that. Whatever this is, there is some shame coming through, and like most times in card readings, when I do an energy check, I already start to get some guidance and some keywords about what unresolved emotions are happening in the body, that it's like coming through physically. So whenever we have some sort of physical ailment that happens that we don't like, that like we aren't enjoying it, like this, like I feel like this is something that does really upset you, or for some reason gets you feeling shameful. So the thing I'm first drawn to is this cups here, the cups, and just like also the word forgiveness is huge, but the cups, I'm like, this outbreak, I'll call it, like happens whenever you are like giving way too much. And also I want to say for this pile, like anytime you kind of get like for example, like any kind of like outbreak on the skin, like even pimples, shingles, herpes, eczema, like all of them have a spiritual root in wanting connection and support from others, but also being scared of that. So there being a fear of connection and of like getting hurt in that connection. So like this is how your body physically manifests that feeling. So it's almost like you want closeness, but then something appears that creates a block, because with the energy that I'm feeling from you, and I want you to be clear because I know sometimes we do not hear everything someone is saying to us as we're hearing things brought up. I am saying that this is what I'm reading in your energy. It is not the truth of the situation, but I feel like you feel like, so if you're feeling like a fear of connection, or like you're not good enough for it, or there's something undesirable about you, or someone couldn't possibly love you, or people can't connect to you because there's some worthiness issue here, like there's some worthiness block on your half, that this is when this manifests, this outbreak, because that's like you're physically creating that barrier now, because once you have this outbreak, I feel like you get very hard on yourself and you go, I'm not, like, no one's gonna want me, no one's want to get close to me, like I can't get close to people, like it validates this wounding within you. So I want to be clear here. This is not the truth. This is what your body is trying to bring awareness to. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter if you have like a shingles outbreak or herpes outbreak or pimples on your forehead. You are still just as valuable as you were before you had this outbreak. You're just as beautiful and desirable and wonderful and valuable before this happened. So I want to be clear. Once again, I know there's a lot of repetition, but I know that when we talk about things where there's fears attached to it, sometimes we hear one word that I say that is going to validate the fear, and you stop hearing the rest because you get pulled into the past, pulled into your fears, pulled into your guilt or your shame. So I am saying that your body is bringing to your awareness how much you are seeking and wanting mutual connections that are equally reciprocal to you, because you are an overgiver. You give so full-heartedly. You give with all your love, with all your passion, and there is a block here where you're not feeling like you're deserving of getting that back. And I want to be clear, this feels deep. This feels super deep. And if you're watching this reading as it's coming out, that has been a huge theme, like an eye-opener that we're getting again and again as this start of the year has happened, is that whatever limiting beliefs have held us back, we're being awakened to them. So it's like, if you have this belief and you've worked on it, there's still a deeper layer to get to. And forgiveness, I always see forgiveness come forward whenever there's something that we need to see within ourselves where we were the ones creating the barrier. Does that make sense? So like if I'm doing a reading for myself and I'm like, what is my block in this? I will always get a forgiveness card when it's about something I'm just not letting into my life, because I have a belief around it that I'm not deserving of it. I'm not worthy of it. It can't happen for me. So whether it's scarcity or just believing I'm not worthy of it, this is the card I always get, is forgiveness. So when I see this here, I feel like it's really coming forward saying, you probably have this in your awareness. And I also, like, I keep getting a lot of messages around like motherhood wounding and fatherhood wounding. And I think this is where it all starts. Like, this pile probably, from everything I can see here coming through just now, is I think you're probably in a family system that couldn't emotionally, like the parents couldn't emotionally regulate themselves. Like they couldn't give you the supports and the nurturing and attention that you were needing. And I just feel like I keep thinking of the attachment here. Like this mother is carrying the child and helping it feel confident. And I don't think you had that. I don't think you did. So this pile, I think you've done so much work here, and the reason why I think this is coming forward, if it's just saying like, look at this, let go. I feel like let go of time, but I feel like it's time to let go is how I keep reading this. Like, this is that next deeper layer. So once again, I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but I feel like the things that I'm saying could be very triggering or could pull you back into past events. And you want to make sure you're hearing what I'm saying and not just taking the affirmation of the fear I'm pointing out and thinking that I'm telling you are deserving of that fear. Does that make sense? I don't want you to think that any of this fear is true. That I want you to know that you are so valuable and you're so worthy of just receiving so much more. And that's why this is coming up now. Really, really seeing where you have not equally allowed others to give back to you, to receive back from others. Like I even see this like I think like it's almost like instead of like always paying attention to like pouring to other people's cups, what if you just stop doing that and you just let people pour into yours and you just see what happens? I mean, whew, I think that would be very hard for this pile. I think that'd be very hard because there's definitely this like deep-seated belief that maybe you're not quite deserving of it. Because once again, I really feel like this pile could benefit from looking into signs of like, say, a motherhood wounding, because maybe you hear that all the time, but maybe like just to have it re-said to you from like, say, like a psychiatrist's opinion or something, or just like from someone who like doesn't know you, who's literally just saying, this is what this would look like. Did you experience that? And you can just be like, yes or no. And then you could get some maybe clarity on that. Because the other thing I want to be clear about how I can see this as layers and that you have already worked on this is like when I keep looking at this card, I see that like there's one layer, then there's another window, then another window. So it's saying it's not that you haven't done the work, but there's a deeper layer to get to, and I feel like this layer is going to be incredibly liberating. Like these cards I just keep seeing this. Like this is all about the heart, and I feel like in like seeing, like really being able to see your value and see where you can receive more and be more loved and get more support by others. Yeah. And I also, the other thing I see this card too is I just feel like there was like some emotional instability from your whoever like raised you. So it could be like you being an adult now can recognize that maybe you had like a single parent who raised you, or maybe both your parents worked or something, or they weren't in a good marriage. And I could just feel like you can see now why there was so much tension in your household, why there was so much maybe like anger is what I keep getting. I feel like there's like a lot of anger and stress that was like projected on you when you were in your family system when you were younger. And I just feel like the other thing I see here is like the hearts. Like it's like I think your parents unfortunately weren't maybe the most emotionally mature. Like I just keep getting like I think like they meant things out of love, but they just were projecting their wounds on you. Like it just like it didn't come out as they intended. So I feel like this person looks so angry, looks like they just can't handle their fears, and they thought they were like showing love by being protective of you, but instead it just came off as like very controlling or like very manipulative or very guilt and shaming. I think that was a big one. I think that your family might have used a lot of guilt and shame on you to get you to do things, and it's just like really saying like this was the error of their ways. Like this was just them not knowing how to be that healthy support system that you needed. And I even like with number 44 coming through, this really does talk about looking. I know I'm so sorry, Pylon. I know you've done a lot of work and I know you've looked at this, but it's saying there is a little bit deeper to look at. There is a little bit deeper. There's still something in that initial support system, a limiting belief that is ready to be kind of erased is what I'm getting. So something I keep getting to for this pile, if like, so whenever you get like this skin outbreak, I feel like it wouldn't hurt for you to reflect on what had just happened. Like, did you feel emotionally rejected by someone? Did you have an argument with someone that you're actually wanting to be close to? Or is everything feeling so peaceful in this relationship? Say, like, if this is a romantic relationship where you keep kind of getting triggered and your skin keeps having outbreaks, is it because there's a fear in the peacefulness? Like, you're so used to the lack of peacefulness that it makes you feel unworthy and scared, and then this comes up as a protection to keep them at a distance so they can't hurt you. You can reject them first. Just thoughts. I mean, I'm not saying this is what's happening. I really am just saying like this is something to think about. Try to recognize the pattern, because I do feel like there is an emotional pattern behind this, especially when your connections. So definitely keep getting, though. It's around like attachments and feeling unworthy or insecure, and like a lot of yeah, just like a lot of uncertainty, even if you're deserving it. Just kind of, that just keeps coming again and again. Okay, so I do want to pull some cards. So that being said, if this does not resonate, if you're like, this has nothing to do with what I'm going through, then this might not be for you. And that's okay. But I am going to pull some cards now from the deck that I had, and I'm just asking for, I don't know, guidance? Let's say guidance and suggestions. It's so funny. I was thinking I should also ask for lessons. Yeah, look at that. It's the heart. It's so tied to the heart, my friends. And why it's so tied to the heart is just because there is this like fear of not being deserving of receiving this kind of support, receiving this kind of love. So that's why I keep seeing this as like not being lovable, not being worthy of this great or kind love. And I want to be clear that I don't think it's just in romantic partnerships. I think this could even be in like friendships, you know, opportunities even. But I think when it's coming up and this outbreak is happening, I do think it is more between romantic partners, crushes, and close friends, something like that. Music and harmony. Okay, I'm just gonna put those there. So what I do feel like though, so like we kind of have some third eye chakra cards coming up. It is teaching you to listen. I feel like listen to your body on the limits that it has, but also to like the fears and the limiting beliefs that are coming up in the what would we call that? In the subconscious, in the inner child. Like I feel like there's like parts of you that can feel very like unloved or unwanted, and it's like once you start to catch on to the fact that you're feeling that, instead of sort of like suppressing it or like being like, ooh, I'm not gonna look at that, I don't want to feel that way. And I can see why you might do this, because this seems like energy where you're like, okay, I don't want to trigger an outbreak, I don't want to go into that energy, so instead I'm going to like disconnect from it. But instead it's this like part of you is feeling more neglected versus feeling felt, honored, and seen. And that's actually all it's wanting, is it's wanting to feel felt, honored, and seen, not pushed away. Because it's almost like when you do that to yourself, to this part of you that comes forward with the fear of not being lovable, it's like you're cementing that belief in childhood that this part of you took on, that it wasn't worthy of it. It's like you're, however your parents were emotionally neglecting you, you are now emotionally neglecting that part of yourself. Not intentionally, right? Because I can totally see how you're like, oh, okay, I don't want to trigger an outbreak, so I'm not going to embrace this energy that's coming forward. I'm going to try to focus on something else. But instead it's like, one must first acknowledge to truly release. One needs to be seen to really let go of something. Yeah, there is a lot about bringing in more joy in general, more pleasure. And whenever I get that message, you literally have playfulness, new beginnings. This just makes me feel like just easier times, feeling less self-critical. And then music and harmony, which also kind of has like a music vibe to it. You might be interested in doing like literally some like sound baths or something like that, where you like literally get like frequency, I don't want to say frequency healing necessarily, but like vibrational support. So like there's like Reiki machines, you know, like where you can like have like basically like continuous Reiki on you basically. Or you could just be getting Reiki. But I do feel like it's like using sound and frequencies to help teach your body that it's safe in a state of harmony. I don't know if that's going to make sense for some people, but it's almost like your system is vibrating at a lower frequency than it would probably like to feel very good. And I feel like getting support to get it to stay and teach you to go back to that more state of harmony and frequency and vibration would be really helpful. Also, I have found that like if we have an overactive nervous system, so like if we grew up with not a lot of emotional security or stability in our family systems, our nervous system starts to constantly look for threats in our environments and to like overanalyze what could or could not be safe. And I feel like for this pile, like that could be part of the issue is if your nervous system is forgetting to look for joy and play, maybe it doesn't even know really how to look for joy and play because it's constantly thinking it needs to be on guard and to regulate other people's emotions for them, or try to like make sure that everyone in the environment is feeling safe. So I feel like when I'm seeing all this like bring in more playfulness, bring in more joy, it's talking about how teaching your body that it's safe just to be and to have fun. Whew. Which I feel like maybe some of you need to take a deep breath, because I feel like that's even like a little overwhelming to think about. And for some of you might be like, I don't know what you're talking about, but that's kind of the funny thing, right? Like if we've always had a hyperactive nervous system, then we don't really know any differently, right? We don't really know any differently. But I don't know. I feel like if this is coming through, I gotta hope that like you've heard this message before. And that you are just learning to embrace more and more love and joy in your life. Yeah. Okay, I kind of want to use these dragon cards just to ask for, the lesson. What are you transmuting? Oh, well, this card obviously wants to come out, so we'll just go with it. Kuan Yin's Pink Dragon. Oh, this is an excellent one. Very heart-centered. Brings firm love that brings firm, I can't speak all of a sudden, firm love that resets your karmic balance. See all your cords dissolve by transcendent love. Enjoy your freedom. Look for the divine around you. I really like that. You know what? I think I'm even going to read from the guidebook for this deck because I find it to be very specific to things. Okay, hang on here. Let me find it. Oh, here we go. Okay, so it says, choosing this card offers you an opportunity to heal all your relationships, including those from past lives that you may be unaware of. Ask Kuan Yin's beautiful pale pink dragons to dissolve the cords that still tie you to others and sit quietly while they do so. You may sense or feel them releasing you completely. Take a moment to feel the freedom that this offers you. These great-hearted dragons will then help you to see with eyes of love. Look for the divine in everyone and be aware of all the situations from a higher understanding. Knowing that Kuan Yin's gentle pink dragons are by your side, these gracious dragons will enable you to enrich your relationships, transform your friendships. They will help you to treat all people with greater respect, care, and love than ever before. Remember to thank them for enhancing your life. So, interesting. It says that they're luminous pink of the sacral chakra, which is kind of, so the sacral chakra is when we see all these like orange cards coming out. So that's just really interesting that it both validates the heart chakra needing some adjustments and the sacral chakra needing some adjustments. Okay, sorry, what else is it saying here? Whether from this life or any other, in any dimension or plane of existence, dissolving all karma under the law of grace. Yeah, so you know what? You might have been born into a karmic family. Like, you might have had a very karmic relationship with your parents. Just meaning, like, that might have been the hardest relationship that you faced in your life. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. But the other thing I'm also so drawn to here is always the lotus flower, which means, like, you are transcending. You are growing. And even though this, like, I feel like with this pile, there's just, like, this frustration energy that's kind of coming in a little bit of being, like, I keep trying my best to do all the work that I can, and I keep being told there's another layer and there's more. And it's like, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to let that out. Like, this pile actually might just need to scream and shout. And actually, as I'm saying that, like, I do feel that. I feel like I need to literally yell and scream. And if you have been feeling like you've been stifling, like, a lot of anger or a lot of frustration, I can't even get, like, divine rage. Like, I don't know, maybe sit in your car and scream your head off, or or like I mean, some people say to scream into a pillow, but I don't know. I feel like you just need to let that rage out of the throat chakra, that frustration. And it could even be because maybe you've like been very careful with the words you use around people, or like with this parent of yours, like always having to be careful, and there's just like a frustration there. I would just say, let it out. Let it go. That's what I want to say. Makes me think of a song. Is that a song from Frozen? Let it go? Yeah. Maybe you love singing that song. I don't know. I could see why. That also being said, when I see this stone, it does make me think of the throat chakra and needing a deep level clearing. Like there's so many layers in here. So once again, like I feel like this pile is about layers. And I really want to be clear here. Like if you look at this, there is like, at first it's like a little bit lighter, and then there was like maybe a really icky first layer that was really hard to get through, and then there was another layer, but it was a little bit easier, then a bit of an ickier one. But I feel like what you're at right now is kind of like this very, like the very origin layer. Does that make sense? Like that's why I feel like this is such an important layer, because I feel like you're really getting to like the deep stuff that's like, you know, you need to like, I keep getting examples of like, you need to dredge the bottom of the sea and like clear up that stuff, or like, I don't know, like it's like this is the gross layer. This is the grossest layer. So it might be frustrating, but it's the layer that really creates change. Yeah, and then after that, I do think like there could be a little layer after this, but I really feel like you're really getting to like the deepest stuff, which is really awesome. Okay, I'm kind of just like, is there anything I haven't really answered yet? What is the lesson? What is the leptons? Okay, what is the lesson? So I just have self-acceptance, and then I also got divine timing and balance for you. So interesting that they all have swampy green colors, because that's what I keep seeing is like that's the layer we're in, like the swampy green waters. And then once you get past this, the waters are going to be clear, and it's going to be much easier, much lighter. So I feel like it's saying like you're going to realize what's at the root of all this when it is right for you to really see it. But I do feel like ultimately it's about loving yourself just as you are and seeing there's nothing wrong with you. You're complete, you're beautiful, you are actually perfectly imperfect, and that's all you're ever supposed to be. You're so worthy. And then just creating balance in that energy that you're giving out, because I just feel like you give so much and this person just seems dead and tired, and maybe even sometimes goes a bit numb because they just only have so much they can give to people. So yeah, okay, that's heavy. I'm sorry. I am sorry that you are experiencing this. Isn't it funny when you see this card so bright, so beautiful, and then you're just like, but it's really heavy stuff. Like it just is. It's heavy for now until it gets released, and that's what you're working on. So great job. Okay, I am just gonna pull maybe an affirmation card. Let's do an affirmation. I like them. Okay. What does pile 1 need to hear right now? What does their skin want to know? What does their skin want to say to them? I direct my creative talents towards music, art, dance, writing, anything that gives me pleasure. So you do have a lot around music, dancing, creativity right now. I am learning to be more creative every day. I would almost say this should say I'm learning to be more playful every day for this pile. I'm learning to be more playful every day. That feels more accurate. And then we also have limitations are merely opportunities to grow. I use them as stepping stones to success. I like that. Oh, look at that. And I have wonderful relationships with my friends, family members, and co-workers. I am appreciated. That's also a really big one. Okay. All right. This is actually all that I have for you, pile 1. It's like 30 minutes now, so I'm sure a lot of you have places to be. I hope this brought some sort of clarity or validation for you. I'm so sorry. I know that I feel the frustrations of these layers. I'm so sorry, but I really want to say that this one feels like one of the deepest layers, the thickest, deepest layers. So it's going to create so much change, getting through this layer. I really feel like it's like life changing. what you allow into your life is going to completely change once you get through this and really get to the root of seeing how you are deserving, you are worthy, like really like full body feeling it and seeing where you actually have been holding this belief. Yeah, okay. So that being said, I hope you have a good evening or night or day, whatever it is for you. If you like this card reading, I appreciate it if you leave a like or a comment. It helps this video get more views. If you subscribe, that helps the whole channel. If you want a personal reading, there is a link in the description box below for a Zoom meeting, or if you want a no contact reading, there is an option for a 30-minute recorded reading. If it's not in the description box, it might just be that I'm not offering this anymore. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you'll have a good one, and maybe I'll catch you around. Hello, Pile 2. So you chose this piece of Dendrite Jasper. We'll just put it over here. Okay, so if you didn't see the intro, that's okay. We're just going to do a little energy check where I'm going to see if I can get any clarity on possibly the symptoms you're having or just the emotions or energy you're in. This is just going to be how you can see if this pile resonates for you, and if it doesn't, then this just might not be your pile. So that being said, yeah, I'm just going to do that. Okay, I'm just going to turn them all around. So we have Perform, Blessed, May. Interesting. It's interesting that all these cards are very performery. It's important not to get stuck in the therapy. Eating according to the seasons, always leave some space within when you eat, and constantly maintaining alertness in walking, sitting, eating, and sleeping. Okay, it is interesting to me that you got 3 cards around food, and then kind of like 3 cards around, I kind of get beauty and performance, like people, like belief on how you seem in this world or look in this world. So I'm just going to take a second, just because this is mainly intuitive, just to really make sure that I'm hearing things clearly. Okay, sorry about that. I started talking and then didn't realize that my camera battery died. So here we go again. It happens. Okay, so for this pile, what I'm getting here is that I think what you're inquiring about for your skin, I really get, I almost feel like trying to hide something. So like trying to hide like wrinkles, trying to hide scars that you might have on your body, and also the other one coming through is, I forget what it's called, but when you lose pigmentation in some of your skin. So you might have some skin where there's like here is like whiter than another spot, or maybe there's like a birthmark that's like brown there, but I don't feel like it's birthmark related. I feel like it's like, yeah, pigmentation loss, or like melatonin loss, whichever one it is. Melatonin, I guess, is like, isn't that like a thing in the mind? I don't know. Anyways, hopefully you know what I'm talking about. And I feel like this, like what's coming through is like a deep sadness about this. Like there's like a lot of grief and a lot of emotions stuck in my throat actually when I tune into the energy of this pile. And I really feel like it's just like feeling like, I feel like there's a lot of pressure to feel like any of these 3 things makes you less valuable, makes you less desirable, makes you less beautiful. Yeah, I think you're struggling with feeling like you're beautiful in your body, that you are attractive, that, and then somehow that does feel like attached to like people wanting you, or wanting to cherish you. It's it's a limiting belief. I want to be clear here. So this is the energy check. So this is not what I'm saying is true. This is what I'm saying is coming through about fear of that. And I really have to say, like, it is really stuck in my throat. Even kind of get feeling nauseous sometimes. Like, maybe this is how upset you can get about it, or how scared you can get about it. For some of you, I think your income could be based off of the way you look. So if something's changing, I feel like you feel out of control is another thing that's coming in pretty strongly. The eating thing here, this is really interesting, because I almost like, this makes me feel like whatever this is like maybe you have like, oh, I don't know. Like, I keep getting wrinkles. I get wrinkles for the food. But I also get, like, maybe, like, pimples. Like, I feel like this pile just feels like this huge pressure to be perfectly beautiful. Perfectly beautiful. Like, unachievably beautiful. Like Photoshop beautiful. You know? Like, doesn't actually exist on this planet, that kind of, that look. But it feels like you're constantly chasing that. Especially when I see this spinning top, like always focusing on being the best, on, I guess performing is a word. Like, I feel like if this, like, spinning and performing properly, the performance is literally here, and then this card here, like, is literally a performer who's being judged by their beauty, judged on their looks, on their exterior, and no one's looking on the inside. And then when I look over here, this is like actually calling to your attention to look on the inside. So, like, literally a ship in a bottle. I think you are trying to keep all your emotions, all your tears, all your worries bottled literally in. I think you're trying to keep yourself separate from the emotions, because I think the emotions are all the fears. All the fears that it could be true. But I think the thing is here, like, such on this card says it's important not to get stuck in therapy. I think of talk therapy. I keep getting that you need to feel the feelings, not just talk through the feelings. You need to feel them. You need to, I think you need more somatic work. And especially when there's so much throat chakra coming in, I think there was a lot of grief and a lot of pain stuck in the throat for this pile. I actually feel like it could just be very therapeutic for this pile to cry. To just cry their eyes out. To scream and cry their eyes out. You might have been drawn to pile 1 only because I think this pile would really be drawn to this crystal. You might even have thought that you were clicking on this crystal, but accidentally clicked on the timestamp for the other one. But I feel like this stone would be really, really good for this pile, just for clearing things. But the thing I do want to point out here is there's lots of talk of food, and interesting enough, I keep getting that, like, food could be connected to your hormones and to the balancing of your hormone regulation. So for this pile, if you are a female and maybe you're even going through, say, menopause, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't see that. There's definitely some menopause vibes here, where maybe that's why you're feeling out of control in your body, because I keep getting different layers. I'm like, scars, wrinkles, you know, skin. You're trying to hide the things on your skin that you're feeling like, I think, ages you. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. I really feel like this is like pressure that was put on you. So, I do feel like, though, like, yeah, feeling through the emotions and releasing them, and not just talking about them. I think you're probably very good at talking about them, but it's time to do somatic stuff. And then over here is, like, paying attention to what you're eating, not because you need to look a physical certain way, but I think there is a thing here saying, like, maybe when you're getting stressed out, you're eating a lot of certain foods, or maybe you're even withholding certain foods from yourself, and your body's really craving more loving foods, like eating with love in mind for yourself. So there is a lot about eating, like, red and pink foods that could just be bringing, like, more in grounding energy, heart-opening energy. Some of you might really benefit to foods that are literally heart-opening. You can do that by, like, literally Googling spiritual, or, like, foods that help with spiritually opening up the heart chakra, the self-love. I also feel like for this pile, there's just, like, an ask to just eat and choose foods with love for self. So I do feel like for some of you, it could be that there has been food restrictions. And for some of you, I think it's like eating more sugary foods or more processed foods because you're just trying to feel better. Because I feel like this is actually, like, this is, like, really making you sad. You feel like you're literally grieving this change in your body, this loss of youth, maybe. I think that could be it. This, like, I feel like you've lost something. And you're stepping into a new identity and a new love for yourself. So some of you might even have had like a surgery or something, and that's why there's like this really big scar or something. Or it might have changed how you have to eat or be in the world, your career. This feels like an identity change. So that's also why I get like the menopause vibes. Or it could even be like you just had a baby and you're not happy with like the stretch marks or like the things that your body can't do anymore or doesn't look like anymore. I think it's more look like than can't do. I feel like the can't do is like a fear. And the desire, I keep getting that. Like, I really feel like maybe you're not feeling like desired by your romantic partners or desirable and cherished. So anyways, if that resonates with you, then you have chosen the right pile. I am already, as we said, there is some guidance already on changing your diet and eating from a loving place. So not withholding food because you're trying to look a certain way, and also choosing foods that actually nourish your body, that your body is desiring on a nutrient space, because I do feel like there's a hormone thing, a hormone imbalance going on for this pile. Yeah, this could just be confirmation or validation for you around that. Okay, I don't know why I chose these cards. This is not even the deck that you had. Oh, here's Millie. Here's my lady cat, the one and only lady cat that I have. The rest are all boys. Okay, well, I guess she's joining us. It's okay. I was done showing those cards. So anyways, I want to ask for the lesson for this pile. What is the lesson? And it's fascinating that I'm using like the Medicine Woman deck that I didn't even mean to choose. Okay, winter, a time for turning inwards, rest in silence, and interconnection. I bring you the medicine of togetherness. Ooh, this feels like healing some really deep beliefs on what the value of the feminine is, what the value of a woman is. And I try not to be like gender specific in piles, but this pile does feel very, very feminine, only because there is such a like a physical body change and grieving, like having like who you are now. So I really feel like some of you are either going through menopause or just birth the baby. It's just such a strong energy coming through, and I really feel like in whichever case, I don't think you anticipated feeling the way you do right now. I think you thought maybe you would be happier or relieved or something, and there's like this need to go within, and I keep getting grieving that loss of identity. Because for you to step into a new role, there was a death of a different part of yourself, right? Like the single you, the individual you that wasn't a mom, there's a part of you that does die, so that there's room for this new identity as mother. It doesn't mean that is your only identity, but it does change your life dramatically, right? So it's just saying there's this need to honor the transition that you've gone through, and even be okay with the fact that there is some things you're sad to leave behind. There is some things that maybe you weren't anticipating being so hard to leave behind. And for some of you who feel like you need to like perform, I feel like this is like coming around the fact that maybe like if you're like say a mother now and you just had a child, or not even just, like maybe just even in the last year, and you're still struggling with like not feeling how you thought you would, it's just like taking the time to really realize and go within and like realize the things that you do miss about how like before you were a mother. Maybe it's like not having as much responsibility, not having to be so conscious of the words you say all the time. You know, like it could just be anything like that, but I do just keep saying it's like time to go within and really just be okay with the fact that sometimes it's hard to be a parent and sometimes you wish that you weren't. Like, it's just honoring those emotions and not shaming yourself or dismissing yourself for having those emotions. Okay, I also want to ask, what else is the lesson? Rise above, widen your vision. Yeah, so this is like saying seeing a higher perspective on the whole situation. So honestly, this is like a little bit tricky for me because I feel like I'm so torn between the different energies that are coming through, whether this is like someone who's like trying to like who's struggling with like age. I feel like there's like a guidance coming through that like really seeing the wisdom in the age and the beauty in the changes in your body. But I also get that for this, like if you've come out of just having a child and your body just looks different, like your body is showing wisdom. Like it's just sharing more about your story and your journey here, and there's nothing to be ashamed of about that. And like, I also feel like there's such acknowledgement that it takes so much power and energy to literally create a life within you, and honoring that the body did change for that. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like a lot of you, it is a feminine wound. So whether it's like the feminine wound also, I feel like, of like feeling like you have to be perfect or look a certain way or always be beautiful or always look like this like magazine model that keeps coming through a lot. It's like really healing that. So I'm going to ask for guidance suggestions on how to do that, because so far we're just talking about what they're saying, but I can see people here would be like, well, how do I do that? So guidance suggestions for pile 2 on how to work through this. High Priestess, harness mystic power. Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information. Take charge with authority. Okay, so Summer, bask and joy in light. So whenever I see a B card, I feel like this is saying like finding other people who are going through similar situations as you could actually be very good for this pile, because you know sometimes you go in a group and then it's like everyone's just complaining, but I feel like for you, for this group, I think you almost need to shatter this perception that everyone else is pulling things off and are okay, and you're the only one who's not figuring it out, not being able to be all these things you're supposed to be or be this perfect image. So I feel like having a community where you realize that you're actually quite normal and your struggles are felt by so many, I think that could really, really help you in, once again, like shattering that myth that you're the only one who's like not keeping up or something like that, whatever this belief is. Like, the High Priestess, I feel like, is embracing the fact that you don't love everything about this. Like, the High Priestess is like, she's okay with the shadow. She's okay with the darkness. She's okay with the icky emotions. She's not going to get stuck in them. She sees that they're there, and she doesn't try to blame them or shame them for being there. It's like truly honoring them, not judging them, and being like, it's okay that I feel this way. I won't feel this way forever, or maybe I will, but it's okay. Whatever way it happens to be that way, and it's all for the best. Medicine Guardian, when I keep seeing this, is I do feel like there is like, I do feel like there's some information that it's saying that you're like maybe resistant to. Sorry, I keep thinking it's like there's some expression that's trying to come through, but I don't quite know the words. It's like something about your cup of tea. Is there an expression where it's like not everyone's your cup of tea? Or it's hard to drink your tea? I don't know. I feel like there's some things where like I get from this, like some people might have some advice for you that you don't really want to hear. And I don't know why. There's like a resistance there where it's saying like you just don't want to accept that that's true. I don't know, for some of you it's going to be like, say like you have like a scar and you just want it to be completely gone or something, and someone says, we can't completely get rid of it, but if you like change this health thing, or you take this supplement, or if you put this vitamin C cream on or serum on, it will greatly reduce it. And there's something there where it's like, no, I don't want to do that because, I don't know. There's like this resistance there. Maybe it's almost like you're having a hard time wanting to take action because there's something about like having to accept that there's something you're not okay with, or if you don't like the fact that it isn't 100% changeable. I don't totally know, but I feel like there's this frustration and resistance to some kind of like guidance around how to heal this. So I don't even know if it's like, if this is like an emotional aspect that you're working on, and like say maybe you are seeing a therapist or counselor and they're giving you advice and you're like, I don't like it. I'm not going to consider it. I don't know, but I do get like, there is like a block there. It feels like a resistance to being like, nope, I'm just not going to. I don't feel like it, but I can't see what it is because it's like blocked. It's so blocked that they won't even show me. But it's definitely between two choices. It's like going after this thing or that, but I do feel like the resistance is in taking action towards it. I don't know. I feel like it's almost like it feels like for this pile, if you take action towards it, then you have to accept that this is real. Like there's something there. I'm so sorry. I can't quite get it, but you hopefully already know it, because I think with the level of resistance I feel around this, it's like you already know what I'm trying to tell you, hopefully. And then Lord, take charge and authority. This is so interesting because there is like a masculine energy. Like there's basically the masculine version of this card. And I was like, well, I wonder why that didn't come through. But I feel like this is like saying like it's time for you to take action. It's time for you to do something. And that's what I mean. I don't understand. Same with this card here. This card's literally saying like it's important to stop talking about it and actually do something about it. So I really feel like this is something that if you chose this pile, you're going to already know what that is. Yeah, there's just so much going on to it. And also the other thing too, like when I was talking about hormones being maybe irregular, it is interesting that this Jasper, like what makes the inclusions in it is like magnesium. And sometimes when you like Google the spiritual meaning of this card, it suggests looking into like mineral deficiencies and stuff. So I wonder if there's even like a resistance for you to like go see like a doctor or specialist on what you might be deficient in, or like what's going on with your health physically, or your like just getting like answers. I feel like I just keep getting that there's resistance to getting like actual answers about why something's happening. And I keep getting, it could be because you feel like it'd be admitting defeat, admitting that you couldn't do it on your own or something like that. I don't know, but hopefully you know, because you're you, and I'm just a card reader on YouTube. Yeah, and look at that. I just like went to pull another card. You have two cards about saying see the higher perspective here, and you need to change your perspective. So it's like you need to change somewhere, because the route that you're going down, you keep getting the same result. It's time to take action. It's time to take charge. Also, this is releasing in April, and there's like some Aries vibes coming through this card. Take action to create change. You're so tired and you're so done with it. The next thing for you to do is just to take a move. Take an action. Yeah, look at that. Literally, the next card underneath is literally shift your perception. Yeah, so I'm sorry, pile 2. It's like I can't quite see what I need to see, but it's very clear. I keep getting the same words, so you must know. That's what I'm determining from this. Yeah, I was just looking for there we go. I wrote down Dendrite Jasper. Yeah, sure. It means it's supposed to help you sharpen your mind and like regulate your emotions. It also helps with vision, which is so interesting. I was like, why will I need to care about that? This doesn't really seem like a vision card, but I think whenever there's a perception shift needed, it does talk about needing to help the vision or help with our vision. Okay. I'm going to kind of finish this off, I think, with pulling some affirmation cards for you. So let's do that. What is an affirmation for pile 2? What is an affirmation they can use? I am safe in all my relationships and I give and receive lots of love. I draw love and romance into my life and I accept it now. Very interesting. Let's do another one. We'll do 3. Okay. I lovingly do everything I can to assist my body in maintaining perfect health. Yeah, definitely something about an actual physical health thing going on. Okay, and ooh, that one came out easy. I know that old negative patterns no longer limit me. I let them go with ease. So this is talking about breaking habits and patterns. Once again, it's interesting that there's like something consumable in this card, which is interesting. Each day is a new opportunity. Yesterday is over and done. Today is the first day of my future. Ooh, I like that for this pile. Today is the first day of my future. Everything is changing. Okay, all right. one more. I go within and connect with that part of myself that knows how to heal. And I breathe deeply and fully. I take in the breath of life and I am nourished. Yeah. Okay, that's actually all I have for you, pile 2s. I almost said pile 3. That's all I have for you. I feel like this pile already knows what they need to know. So I kind of feel like as I say this, it's like almost annoying for this pile because you're like, I've heard it so many times. So I feel like I should stop talking now. Okay, so that being said, I hope you have a good night or day, whatever it is for you. If you enjoyed this reading, you can always leave a like or comment. That helps this specific video get more views. If you like the channel, you can subscribe. That helps the whole channel do better. And then if you want a private reading with me, I do have an option for Zoom or a no contact recorded reading if you prefer that. And it is in the description box below. If you don't see it there, then it's likely that I'm not offering it anymore. All right. Hope you guys have a good one and best of luck. Hello, pile 3. Okay, every time I've started a video for one of these piles, a cat has jumped in, so that's hilarious. And a different cat every time, I think. Or maybe Toby was in the last one. I don't remember. This is Toby. Okay, anyways, you chose Trolleite. I'm going to put it over here. And if you didn't watch the intro, that's totally okay. I am just going to pull some cards for an energy check. I'm going to try my best to see if I can get what physical condition or symptoms you're inquiring about, but also just an emotion that you're struggling with and going through. So that being said, I'm just going to shuffle these cards and it's going to be pretty intuitive. Hey, Toby. Hi, bud. Hi. Really wants me to pay attention to him. Yeah, okay. Let's get to it. Yeah, okay. Okay. Toby, you're being very distracting. You're so cute. Who could resist you? Yeah, I see you. Okay, we gotta just do one more pile, my friend. Okay. We'll just take a brief pause here. Okay, pile 3s. I kind of wonder if this pile has gone through, like, it's very specific, but like skin cancer, leukemia. I don't know. I don't quite know exactly what it is, but I keep thinking that. It says here, God didn't create any illness without also creating the remedy. Recovery isn't a goal, but a process. The individual epitomizes the universe. Let the beauty you. That does not sound like a sentence. Love be what you do. I don't quite know what it is. I feel like there is like literally something that is like considered like a physical disease that you might be struggling with. Maybe you would call it an illness. I'm not totally sure. I also feel like there could be sun sensitivities for this pile, which is so random. But I do feel like that's it. Whatever the symptoms are, I feel like there is a need for a lot of rest. I feel like you have very low energy compared to normal. I do feel like whatever this is hits your immune system very, very hard. I do also feel like you can't go out in direct sunlight that much. And I know that is weird to say, but I'm like, I can't stop looking at all these suns and the fact that it's like when the sun isn't up. When the sun isn't up and it's dark out, you can go out more, or you have to cover yourself fully. So there's, I don't know, maybe you literally have an allergy to the sun. Maybe you have an allergy to, I don't know if this is gonna be it, but like I've had 2 friends who have an allergy to the cold. It's wild. Living in Canada, an allergy to the cold. 2 people. It's supposed to be extremely rare, and yet I've met 2 of them in Canmore. It's wild. Okay, anyways. Well, just meaning it's hard to believe if you're not from here and you don't use that terminology. Yeah, I don't know if I can quite peg this pile on what you exactly have, but if those sound like things that you're struggling with, that would make sense. I do feel like whatever it is, you have very sensitive skin, essentially. Extremely sensitive skin. Maybe you literally have some sort of disorder where your skin sheds incredibly fast or something. I don't know. Like I said, I can't put my finger on it. I am not sure. But I do want to talk about maybe the emotional state that you're feeling. Um, Definitely get that you're feeling, I don't know, like you might be really into Joe Dispenza. Actually, I take that back. I don't think you've actually heard of him yet. I think you would be interested in what he believes, but I don't quite feel like this pile resonates with his logical vibe. Not that you're unlogical people, but I think he complexes it too much. He's too scientific. You might be more of like a Louise L. Hay kind of person, or when the body says no, or like, you know, people who talk about the emotions and the body and being able to transmute and transcend any physical ailments. Which is why I feel like Joe Dispenza, his principles, I think, vibes with this pile. But I just, when I feel your energy and his energy, I feel like yours is more creative, more, like, his is so logical. It's so firm and logic, and yours feels more expansive and more intuitive, if that makes sense. So, I don't know, maybe check him out if that intrigues you, because a lot of people really love his work. But I feel like if you find him and then you find someone more like him in a more less logical, scientific way, but more like intuitive, emotional way, I think that would vibe with you more. Okay. I also can't stop looking at this mountain being like, keep thinking of a song where it's like the mountain is you, like by Chance Pina, however you say his last name. Where it's just like realizing that the hardest thing in life is like conquering your own mental battle around what you're experiencing in your day-to-day life. And I don't know, I feel like this pile really feels that. You're like, how I wake up and the mental state I'm in determines how my day is gonna go and how I'm gonna be. And what I really like about this card here is like I feel like it's like despite the limitations that you have right now, you still find a way to make things work. You still find a way to get out there, to enjoy life, to be expansive and expressive. Like, you are such a creative soul. Like, you might not realize that, but I think you have such a creative way of finding solutions to these limitations. And I really think on a core level, you believe and see that you can transcend and transmute anything. So that's what I mean. Like, I can't really tell what it is that you're physically struggling with. I just can tell that there is a lot of limitations, but you're not letting anyone say that you can't do something. You're going to find a way to do it, which I really, really love. And this is where this card here is really what gives me like your perspective is everything. What you believe you can do and what holds you back is everything. So I really, really love that. Yeah, absolutely love it. I know I'm kind of moving through this quick, but I'm like, I feel like that's all I really have to say about this. I'm getting kind of confused about what I was going to do. Oh, right, the deck you chose. We are going to be looking at now just like guidance and suggestions for you, and also, you know what? If there's any lessons, yeah, we'll use lessons for this too. Guidance, suggestions, and lessons. Find your purpose. Identify your emotional triggers. Breathe. Slow down. Release fear. Energize yourself with earthing. So honestly, I feel like it's gonna sound kind of odd, but I think kind of like a life purpose for this pile is showing people that limitations can be broken, that anything is possible. I think you doing all the personal work you do for yourself changes people's lives because you inspire people so much. Okay, sorry about that, pile 3. So I had started your reading and then I ended up having to take a few days break. But the beautiful part about when I come back to your reading and get back into the energy is sometimes I see messages that I didn't see originally because I was so focused on the dominant energy coming through at the time. So where I believe I've left off was kind of like what the purpose was, the guidance, the lessons, and the suggestions for you. The lessons in this is I really feel like you are here to really get to know yourself on a deeper level than maybe most people ever really get to know themselves. So when I have find your purpose, and then if we look here, there's like a raven's wing, and this girl's going within. This man is just like releasing any expectations on themselves and just being. Here we have talk about grounding, releasing fear. Anytime you see kind of smoky essences and cards, this really talks about a need to let go of the past. I'm getting specifically for this pile for the ego, for the fear, for the learned belief systems, the limiting beliefs. It kind of just depends. Whatever one kind of resonates with you, whichever those words. But I do just feel like there is just a really big lesson coming through all this for you to really get grounded and to release anything that has not served you. So if you're someone who has recognized that you've had a voice in the back of your head that always put you down, that always said you weren't good enough, you weren't doing enough, you made a mistake, that wasn't okay, that your value here is to be of service to others first before your own needs are met, to make sure other people are emotionally regulated before you are. Any kind of terminology around that, I feel like this is what's coming up to be released. And whatever you are going through, because like I was saying, I can feel like this has really affected your life. Like this is like an illness or a disease of some sort, where you really had to stop and completely focus on yourself and really get to know what's going on within you, and really spending that time nurturing yourself, grounding yourself, making sure all your basic needs are met, making sure that you're not pushing yourself too hard, that you're literally going easier on yourself in general. And the thing with the find your purpose, I feel like there's a lot of discipline that's been needed from you to set aside this time to keep going with prioritizing yourself first. And I keep wanting to look up the spiritual meaning of raven, so give me a second. I am just gonna Google that quick because it feels important for this pile. Okay, so obviously there's always a ton of different meanings, but I always just take the first one that pops up, and I have that it represents symbols of change and duality, a representation that duality of existence and the ability to bridge the gap between the physical and spiritual realm exists. And why I love this is, like I was saying at the start of this, is that this pile really feels like they're working on defying what they've been told is possible around their physical health. And I feel like this just seems so interesting. Like I feel like it's just saying like the key is through your own mind, changing what's going on starts with what's going on within you. So some of you might have realized that like your perception on your current situation or experience is so important, and that can change your quality of life, your day-to-day life, just the perception that you have or the outlook that you're having. And there's so much around blue and speaking, so much around like the third eye and the throat chakra. So that is really interesting. Maybe I'll even just pull another card to clarify that. Okay, sorry, just grabbed another deck and Steve just hopped up. So I'm just gonna ask to clarify what is going on with the third eye and the throat chakra for this pile. What is the guidance or lessons are trying to come through? You are not alone. Stay rooted and grounded. Be fearless and stand strong. And grow within your current situation. Okay, so when I see these, I feel like there's just, once again, more third eye coming through. This is talking about you needing to speak up when you see things more, to use your voice more on what you're thinking, on your opinions. It could even be on what you're desiring, what you're wanting, because I do get this is tied to the heart, to your healing. And I feel like this pile, like you have a lot of insight because you are you and you know you. On your own situation, and I just like I'm getting the balance card. So this is once again allowing the emotions to come through and learning to be at peace with the emotions that you have. And then the warrior talks about not being scared to say what you need to say, to stand up for your beliefs, to advocate for yourself. And it's really kind of being in that masculine energy. But what has come up a lot lately when I see this warrior card is like trusting yourself to set and protect the boundaries and keep them in place that you put out there. Sorry, I'm hearing a lot of weird sounds in the background. I'm wondering what's going on with my cats. So I feel like when I see this, it's like trusting that when you speak up for yourself or you say what your needs are or wherever this block is for you, where this like needing to release this past pattern that you have, which, okay, look at that. I literally just pulled another card on top and I'm like, hey, what is this pattern? It says peacekeeper, and the first thing I think of is just like the person who's always trying to make the situation more comfortable for everyone, the one who's regulating other people's emotions before their own, who's making sure that the other person's needs are met without checking in with themselves. So I feel like there's just like this lesson coming through about you learning how to say what you need to say, voice your needs, voice your thoughts, and trust that you can uphold boundaries and protect yourself. You're capable of all this. The masculine within you will protect the feminine within you in a loving, supportive way. And the feminine will hold space for the masculine. When the masculine's just needing to take a step back, the feminine will just hold space and let those emotions be felt and let those things be seen. Did that make any sense? Hopefully. It's been a theme this month. So you might find watching the April energy forecast reading interesting, because it seems like you're kind of being influenced a little bit by what's going on with that energy. So it doesn't matter if you're not watching this as it comes out. If you see April's energy forecast, I keep getting that you might be having a similar lesson as that is talking about. Also, there's an April pick a card reading that also might resonate, but you just look at it, see if it has a message for you, and if not, that's cool. And then here's just, talking about being a time of healing how you've seen yourself, how you've like, I want to say how you've had to, how you've had to adapt in the past to not speaking up for yourself, or like I just feel like the Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. Like this card just makes me feel like it's saying like it's a time of healing. It's such a time of healing and changing and knowing that you're safe to have these changes come in. So maybe before you weren't able to obviously be in a heart-centered place, otherwise you would never have adapted these strategies of, so sorry, it's getting so disrupted. of like trying to calm down situations, emotionally regulate others. If you had people in your life that were able to do that for themselves, then you might not have felt the need to, or put yourself in a situation where you were doing that. So I just feel like it's saying times are changing, and everything that's happening has happened so that you focus on yourself, and you're forced to look at the emotions that are under the surface, to do the healing work on an emotional level. So I want to be clear here, because I feel like for some of you, because this does feel like there's like a physical ailment going on, this is talking about how the emotions and healing these limiting beliefs is the focus for you. Which not to neglect your physical health. It is saying all those things are important, but it's saying like starting with the mind and what's going on in the subconscious will make a huge change for you. And slowing down and hearing what's going on. Well, this is why I also wonder if this pile is like getting like leukemia, or is that what it's called? Leukemia. I keep saying that word by accident. I wonder if this pile is undergoing like cancer treatments, because I feel like my brain keeps having a hard time staying focused, saying words, and just saying what I need to say. It's like really getting hard. So I'm wondering if you're just going through that right now, where you're just having a hard time with your mind. And I don't know if you call it brain fog, or I'm thinking more specifically I can't even think of the word. Like, I can't even think of the word. Yeah, my friend who had a tumor removed in her brain, it makes me think about that, how she'll like know a word and she just can't say it. She just can't say it, and then it bothers her because she knows the word, but it won't come. And I kind of keep getting that. Also, like my grandma with dementia also has that. So it just makes me think of someone who's basically undergoing some sort of treatment where the brain is having a hard time processing things clearly. Yeah, I'm really struggling with that right now. So anyways, I've kind of mentioned guidance, but I do just want to sum it up in a few simple words for this pile, because like I was saying, I'm really struggling to just formulate my words right now. So I just pulled these 3 cards just asking to basically sum up everything that we've gone over in this reading and just give us some guidance and suggestions. So harness mystic power. So this is talking about, once again, like I really feel like this pile is trying to like use affirmations, use like the Joe Dispenza kind of way of thinking to change their life. So like by reprogramming their subconscious mind, they can change their physical health. This is what I keep getting from this pile. So you take it or leave it as it makes sense to you. It's just what I keep getting coming through. Holding space. So this is like going within and holding space and honoring those emotions and those parts of yourself that you haven't been able to hold space for. And I feel like for this pile, it's because you often were processing other people's emotions and not your own in a situation. So this is time to process all those emotions that didn't get seen, felt, or heard in all those experiences and situations. So I do feel like there's a lot there, but it's like it's time for it to heal and be released. And then Earth Mother, feel loved and comforted. This means just spend time nurturing yourself, listening to what your body's needing, sleeping more, resting when you need to rest. You know, that could literally mean not just sleeping, but just maybe taking a seat, getting a massage, doing some general healthcare stuff and not pushing yourself. This is like being more in just being energy versus doing energy. And just really like keep getting like nurturing yourself, honoring yourself and your body on what it has the energy for and what it needs. And although that might feel like it's not getting you anywhere, this keeps telling me that you're gonna make the most progress the sooner you really embrace this slower time right now. This just nurturing self, listening to what the body needs, and doing what it's asking of you. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. And very lastly for this pile, let's just pull an affirmation card because I feel like you like them about what you need to know right now, or an affirmation, sorry. Like I said, I'm so sorry, my brain is just all of a sudden just going. Don't know it, it's like offline. Okay, what's an affirmation for pile 3? Love and light for the highest good of all involved. That's a good affirmation. So, you have enduring, loving relationships brighten my life. And it says, from time to time, I ask those I love, how can I love you more? And look at that. There's a little cat, and they're just sitting and enjoying each other's company and having connection. That might be something you're needing more of right now. Any other affirmations? We have the joy I find in my career is reflected in my overall happiness. I have the unlimited potential, only good lies before me. I have unlimited potential, only good lies before me. And I let go of all negativity that rests in my body and mind. I realize that stress is only fear, and I now release all fears. I let go of all negativity that rests in my body and mind. Okay. All right, pile 3. This is all I have for you. I hope this brought you some clarity or some sort of validation or reassurance, or just even made you feel heard or seen. And I'm sorry that my brain is just suddenly not really being present. So I'm going to leave it here. I hope you have a wonderful evening, night, day, whatever time it is for you. If you like this reading, you can leave a like or a comment. That helps this specific video get more views. If you want a private reading with me, you can click on the link in the description box below, and you can do either a no contact reading where it's just 30 minutes recorded, or you can do a one-on-one reading with me. If it's not in the description box below, it might mean that I'm just too busy and I'm no longer offering it. And other than that, just thanks for watching, and maybe I'll catch you around sometime. I hope you're doing a little bit better. Yeah, and you get the rest that you need. Have a good one.